Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, according to everybody's favourite bald shield journalist Mike Coppinger, heavyweight contenders Luis Ortiz and Charles Martin have agreed terms to face each other on the 1st of January 2022. When I saw this news, I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest with you. Ultimately, I think this fight really does make sense for both fighters. Both guys have been horribly inactive. Neither guy has fought in 2021. And ultimately, both guys are in the last chance saloon to be somebody in the heavyweight division. Of course, Charles Martin was a former heavyweight champion, albeit for only a couple of months or so, and Luis Ortiz has been a long-time contender and a two-time heavyweight title challenger. And ultimately, this fight really is winner stays on, it's loser leaves town, because the loser of this fight really has nowhere to go. If Charles Martin loses again, he can really kiss his contender status goodbye, and if Luis Ortiz loses, especially at his age, what is he, 40, 41 now, potentially older, if you catch my drift? If he loses to Charles Martin, it really is career over for Luis Ortiz. He could kiss any chance of a big fight goodbye. However, the winner of this fight potentially could get a big heavyweight fight. Not necessarily a title shot or anything like that, but maybe a fight with Andy Ruiz, for example. That would make sense for the winner of Ortiz versus Charles Martin. And let's say Charles Martin won, you could maybe match Charles Martin and Deontay Wilder together. So there is a lot of incentive to win this fight. Not only are careers on the line, but potentially the winner of this fight goes on to have a big fight. So I think, given where both guys are at in their careers, this fight makes perfect sense as far as I'm concerned. And I'll be down for it, to be honest. I like this fight. Another interesting factor is that both guys are southpaws. Usually you don't get two semi-decent heavyweights who are southpaws going at it. You don't usually see that in the heavyweight division, so that's another interesting factor. If you were talking about this fight a few years ago, I would confidently pick Luis Ortiz to beat Charles Martin. I think, skill-wise and technical ability, Luis Ortiz is levels above Charles Martin. However, Luis Ortiz is not a young man. He's at that stage now where in this fight he could look considerably older than he's looked in his previous fights. To be fair, against Wilder in the second fight, Luis Ortiz actually looked pretty good. If it's that same Luis Ortiz, he beats Charles Martin, but that is now, 2 or 3 years ago? Where is Luis Ortiz right now? What level is he operating at? If he's dropped considerably, Charles Martin has every chance in this fight, and maybe Luis Ortiz hasn't dropped to the point where he's completely shot, but he's just significantly past his best. And if that's the case, we could actually get quite a fun competitive fight here. So all in all, I do really like this fight, and there are several factors that could affect this fight, such as the layoffs for both men, and obviously the age of Luis Ortiz. There's a lot that makes this fight very interesting, in my opinion, and like I said earlier, this fight really does make sense for both fighters. And I also love the fact that this fight potentially could be on New Year's Day. We've already got Gennady Golovkin versus Ryota Murata on the 29th of December, and hopefully we get this fight on New Year's Day. Honestly, the Christmas period right now potentially could be quite lit, so yeah, I hope this fight happens. Again, I think it makes sense for both guys. I think stylistically, it's relatively interesting. Both guys can crack, both guys are southpaws. Luis Ortiz is old as fuck. Charles Martin is unreliable. He laid down against Anthony Joshua, but against Adam Kownacki he really turned up and put on a great fight. And of course he recently knocked out Gerald Washington, so there's a lot to consider here, and I think that just makes it an interesting fight. What about you guys? Are you hyped for this fight? I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm hyped, but, on the day, I'll definitely watch this fight. It's worth watching in my opinion. Anyway, share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.